Welcome back in. We're breaking down BYU and Kansas State. Matt Baiamonte and Mitch Harper. We had a chance to catch up with the Wildcats head coach back at Big 12 Media Days. This won't be his first trip to BYU. As an assistant earlier in his career, he first had the chance to coach against the Cougars. Here's our conversation with Coach Klieman and his trip to BYU.
Welcome back into KSL News Radio, the over-there flagship of BYU football. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you, and we're joined now by Kansas State head coach Chris Klieman. And Coach, I was looking in your coaching history. I believe you've been to Provo once when you were at Northern Iowa, 2008.
2007 or 8, maybe it was 2008.
2008.
It was opening game.
That's right.
We gave them a heck of a game.
What do you remember about Provo, if anything?
It was a great setting, and if I recall, you guys had a really good football team coming back. Great tight end, great quarterback, big-time running back, and we were buried in the first half. And we flipped a switch, and we had it in the fourth quarter with a chance to win. But it's a great environment, a great place to play. So I'm excited for our fan base and for our players to be able to experience it.
That being the first road game of the season for you, how do you prepare the team? I know there's games to be played before them, but how do you prepare your team for that type of environment on the road to start Big 12 play?
Well, it'll be our second road game.
You're right, Arizona first, right?
No, we're at Tulane first, and it'll be loud down there. But the noise anymore, I mean, it's like when BYU ends up coming to our place, I always think, boy, it's going to be so deafening. Or you go, Oklahoma State's difficult to play in from a noise standpoint. Guys are starting to manage that a lot better. Teams are with different cadences and stuff. But it will be loud, I know that. So we'll have to do a great job of just preparing our guys, not just Thursday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to amplify what it's going to feel like.
Along with the crowd noise, how do you prepare for or simulate the change in communication with the OC and the coach related to, or to the quarterback?
Hopefully by that time we'll have it figured out, honestly, because of all the times that we'll practice it in our own stadium with it as loud as we can get it going. But I think that's everybody's challenge this year because it's all new for everybody, the communication. We didn't do it during the bowl game. But between that and not knowing the time of day we're going to play the game with the elevation and those things, there'll be a lot of things that we'll have to play into it.
Have you already got your experience with the Microsoft tablets? I heard today that it was announced that the Big 12 has got Microsoft tablets, kind of like the NFL.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be Microsoft. We had not gotten a chance to do any of that in spring ball. We did the in-helmet communication all through spring ball, so that's at least we started that. We'll have to work both those systems out an awful lot through fall camp, and that's something that you take for granted in the fact of you just have your normal practices, but now you got to start incorporating how you're going to use all those different communication modes. But I think it's time. We need to do those things in college football.
Chris Klieman is our guest here on KSL News Radio. New OC this year, Matt Wells. He's got ties to the state of Utah. Why did you opt to go with Matt Wells, and what is the offense going to look like under him?
Matt's the co-OC. Connor Riley's our offensive coordinator, and Connor has been with me for 12 years. And so when Colin left and went to A&M, Riles deserved the opportunity. And we've been one of the best running football teams in the country ever since we were at North Dakota State, and 90% is because of Coach Riley. So then when Riles was going to be the O-line coach and the OC, it was really important for me to get him some help and get him with somebody that I trust, somebody that I know that could enhance our pass game. And Matt Wells is one of the best in the country and did it for a long time at Utah State, did it at Tech, learned again more under Levy at Oklahoma. So I'm excited about some of the things that he's going to bring to the table. So it'll be a collaborative effort really with Riles and Wellesley as far as designing the game plan. But we have some really good skill kids, and we've got to be able to utilize them.
We had the chance to talk to Avery a little bit earlier, and impressive guy, and you know that. I'm curious though, how long did that recruitment take to get him to come to Manhattan? Because in-state recruit, I mean, had offers from everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
how extensive was that recruitment to get him to be a
Yeah, it was a couple of years for sure. And the best ones take that long. The best ones don't fall in your lap. You've got to work your tail off. And a couple things. One, just developed a bond and relationship with the family. And two, presented what K-State could be to him being a Kansas kid, being a Wichita kid, having a legacy, having a brand in your own state. I told him, I said, you got to be ready to be the face of this program. And I know that kind of lit him up to think I'm going to be the face of the program and where I grew up. And I know he went to K-State games and stuff, but I didn't think he was going to have all those opportunities to own a state and to own a region like he would being a local kid coming to K-State. And so it's worked out, and he's handled himself really well. And you can see that, too, how he's handled himself.
Was there a recruitment again this past offseason? Because after that dynamite freshman year was like to fend off people, like he's here again.
You know what? Avery and 55 other guys on our team that probably were getting direct messaged, and I wish we could get rid of all that crap, but we can't right now. So you develop relationships. You be honest with guys. You show them the vision that you have, show the plan that you have to get those guys not only be the best player, best person, to get themselves to the next level. And name, image, likeness comes into play on it, and he's done really well in the state of Kansas with that. But he also has got a really good bond with his teammates. Tons of good friendships, and his class in 2024 has got a ton of really talented guys in it, and they want to stick together.
Avery's a dynamic playmaker, not just in the pass game, but in the run game as well. How do you balance utilizing those unique skills versus keeping them healthy so he plays a full season?
Yeah, it's something we got to work on it and do a great job of, because everybody wants to say they have two starting quarterbacks, and it's difficult. We did it the year we won the Big 12. We had Adrian Martinez and we had Will Howard, and both guys were way different talent-wise, but very effective. And Adrian, nobody could tackle, and Will was throwing dimes all over the place. We don't have a solid number two right now, so for us, we've got to make sure and keep him upright first. He's going to make plays with his feet. Now, can we be smart enough, and can we get him to be smart enough to step out of bounds when he has to? But man, I got to stick my nose in there. It's 3rd and 1. I got to be able to get that first down. But we've got to surround him with some other players that we don't have to say, you're going to throw it 30 times, or you're going to run it 25 times. We can't do that. He won't last.
Do you expect your team or players to maybe have an extra chip on the shoulder, if you will, that be picked second behind a newcomer, and also not have any players on the all-conference?
Yeah, the first part of that doesn't bother me at all as far as where you're picked, because in this league, nobody knows where anybody's going to finish.
It's wild.
I mean, there's 4 teams that nobody knows about, and there's 4 other teams that were new to the league last year, and nobody knows what people got for transfers.
Do you believe in the Rigor Mark's comments that this is the deepest league in America? That, I mean, 1 to 16.
Yeah, there aren't any easy games, and there's other leagues where there are those easy games, and so I think it's really deep, and the all-conference stuff. Our kids know that. I know they do. I don't have to say anything, but hopefully that shows that we've got a program heading in the right direction where we're thought that highly of, but as individuals we're not, so to speak. So I like the depth of our roster right now.
You've had a top 5 defense in the Big 12 for a while now. What would you attribute the consistency and the success defensively for Kansas State?
Really good players. That buy into the system, that we've gotten better of not giving up as many explosive plays, and if you can force teams to drive at 80 yards in 10 plays, they're probably going to make a mistake, because you're just not going to shut people down that much with the way college football is going. And the fact that we've had kids that have been like Austin Moore's here that'll be a 4-year starter for us. Brendan Mott will be a 3-year starter for us. We have maybe 8 kids that have maybe 30-plus games behind their belt, and that's unusual in college football as well, to have that many experienced guys, and they know our system, and now they're just teaching it to the next group of guys that hopefully they'll stay in the program, and that's the the goal is to keep stability in our program so that we can have guys for 3, 4, and 5 years in the system.
September 21st, BYU, Kansas State. It's head coach Chris Klieman. I'm curious, last thing for you, Coach. We appreciate the time. Any fun interactions with Kalani Sitake in these coaches meetings the last couple of years?
He's the best, and his dad's even better.
Uncle Tom.
Pops is awesome. We got a chance to go to Hawaii on a Nike trip with Kalani and his dad, and my wife and I had a lot of good times with them. Salt of the earth person, great football coach, better man, better person, and big fan of Kalani.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you in Provo. It's for the first time since '08, and looking forward to that match. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Kansas State head coach Chris Klieman. Really enjoyed our conversation with him. Coach Klieman, class act, Kansas State SIDs, really receptive to outside media, talking to their program. Chris Klieman, class act. I'm not going to be pulling for him tonight against BYU, but in the future, hope this program continues to have success because we need to see programs become annual fixtures atop the Big 12, and I think K-State in this new 16-team league is going to be that way because of Chris Klieman. We're taking a break. On the other side, we'll get to 3 and Out, an in-depth look on this BYU-Kansas State matchup. Can the Cougars get it done? We'll give you some insider analysis next here on Cougar Sports Saturday.